What up, people? It is your boy, the Diggity Dizzle. Happy Tuesday evening to everybody out there. It is going to be a very busy week for me tomorrow night. I'm not sure exactly what time, but Chris and I will be on Lockdown Giants and Patty Trainer tomorrow. We're going to do a show. Thursday, obviously, talking Giants with Chris. Friday, the Giants, Panthers, excuse me, on this channel. And then, of course, Saturday, 9 a.m. until Sunday, 9 a.m., my 10th 24-hour stream. This one, the charity, Stand Up to Cancer. Hopefully you guys and girls will show up for that. Half of whatever I make during that 24 hours, I'm going to donate to Stand Up to Cancer. Definitely looking forward to that. If you guys and girls could share that information out wherever, on Twitter, whatever. I want to get some people in here. Anybody that was with me in February knows for whatever reason the YouTube algorithm did not push stream. It was very weird that most of the day we had under 100 people in the live stream, and then at like 4 in the morning we had 160, which I don't really understand. But hopefully you guys and girls will tune in for that. Like I said, I'll be live for 24 hours. Really lining up a really good, at least I hope so. I mean, as far as I know, everybody I've talked to is in for this thing at some point. I have a really good list of content creators coming on the channel. Hopefully a surprise guest, but I doubt I'll hear back from this person. But if I do, it'll be awesome. But really good content creators coming on the channel. Always have a good time doing this. It's always a very strenuous, not strenuous, but it's arduous. It's tough. Like, it's not easy to stay up for 24 straight hours. I've done it a number of times. It does not get any easier, but I do think that the summer streams are easier because the days are longer, so there's more sunlight. The nights are not nearly as long. They're not, 14 hours long like they are in February. They're like 10 hours long, which is still long, but not like February where it gets dark, at 5:30 and the sun doesn't come up until like 7. This is much better when the sun sets at 7:30 and comes up around 6. It's just easier for me to do it. Who do we got in the chat today? Second Come Amazing Guy, Barry, Vuad, Christy, Irish Rover, Terry D, Womp Bag, Doodle. The Yankees suck, bro. The Yankees, holy gee. I should just burn this. Awful, just awful. Big Moo, Low Temp, Sci Guy, Bry, Rob, John Talento, Salvatore Caridi. It's a great first name. My first name is also Salvatore. Salvatore. I don't use my first name, but that is my legal first name. Salvatore. Named after my grandfather. Cannoli Boy. That's what I'm talking about. There ain't nothing better on the face of the earth than some cannolis. Denise, my lady, how are you? Big Daddy. What's up, buddy? Donovan Paola, Mike Moran, Lunch Break, Ryan McWinney. Toasty, thanks so much for the super chat, brother. Appreciate that. How about you give me a little? Hell yeah! Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. If there is the agreement that we talked about, Saturday could be the end of the Golden Girls theme song. So wait and see. But some of the chats, it makes me an offer I can't refuse. You might have to remove the Golden Girls one. He says, I would take Garrett Schrader, the Syracuse quarterback, over DJ every day of the week. I swear the guy could win a Super Bowl, and the critics won't be impressed because he had 2 weeks off. Crazy the hate he gets. Yeah, that's really what this is about, Toasty. If a lot of you guys may have saw my video, may not. Big O, amazing guy. Meet Tari, what's up, buddy? Go Eagles, EQ. Afghanistan Scott, what's up, buddy? Luann, Big Blueinator. What's up, buddy? B Skrills, Ryan D. So yeah, if you didn't see the video that I did today, watch it. It's a good one. Sometimes one of my, I guess one of the things I'm noted for is when I go off on a rant. It's one of my, I don't know how to say it. One of my strong points. It's something I'm known for. They're pretty good. And I get a lot of people are like, oh, like with the Yankees, they lost 2 games to Atlanta, which I knew they were going to get swept. Atlanta's really good. We're not. They're like, you can do a rant, another Yankee video. I'm like, I'm not doing a video after every Yankee loss. I have to feel like, man, like I have to feel it. I don't want to just rant and it becomes disingenuous and they get played out and they suck. So when I go off on a rant, it's very heartfelt. And that one today really pissed me off. Again, I don't know who this Jason guy is on the herd. I don't listen to Colin Cowherd. Never have, never will. The guy, no doubt, in my mind, you look at him, the dude got shoved into lockers, got wedgies and swirlies. I'm sure the seniors knocked the books out of his hand and put kick me signs in his back and or whatever. I've never listened to him. He's always been ass. And I don't know how long ago that video was that I reacted to on my channel today. Because it was when Tiki said that, he thought Daniel Jones could be a top 5 quarterback. And I did a video about that 2 months ago. So maybe that video was from 2 months ago, but it was the first time that I saw it. It's funny you should ask, Scott, because I was just talking with my guys tonight, and we are thinking next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday. We're thinking that's going to be the day that we do the Super Friends. So keep an eye on that. Like I said, I'm busy this week, man. We got Patty training tomorrow, me and Chris talking Giants on his channel. Friday Night Giants on this channel, and then, like I said, the 24-hour. I'm pumped. Listen, man, I'm pumped up about the 24-hour stream. I haven't had guests on my 24-hour stream in a couple years. And like I said, man, the guys that I've contacted, and they've said they're going to be there. There's some good ones in there, man. Definitely. So Jared, my man, thank you so much for being a member for just over 2 years, brother. He says, Baddog, you the man. How can I be the man when you the man? Hope you're doing good, brother. Donovan, my friend, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Big move, cover your ears.
Thank you for being a friend.
He said at the end of the video, the girl points out how he fanboys for Rodgers and the Jets. I did see the end of it. And that was why, I stopped reacting to it when I did, because I was like, that's not really what I wanted to react to. I know she called him out on that. She said that he believed Zach Wilson was going to be fantastic. And somebody pointed out that, in the comments section, that Colin Cowherd said Trey Lance was the next Joe Montana. Colin Cowherd's an idiot. I mean, listen, I don't know what kind of production value that shows. I'm a guy on YouTube. Like, that's all I am. And like I mentioned in the video, I understand last year a couple of content creators getting upset. I get it now. I get it. I understand now why they were mad, saying, you could influence a fan base. And I never really took that to heart because, like I said, I might reach thousands of people. That's it. These guys reach millions of people. But the constant barrage of just trashing Daniel Jones, it's like it's become in vogue. And why? What for? Like, what? I don't understand what they get out of it. I don't understand. Is it like, hey, there's a bonus every time you bash Daniel Jones? I'll give you an extra 10 grand. I don't know what it is. I don't understand. I felt like when I criticized Daniel Jones, it was warranted. He wasn't playing well. Now, I always say I lost sight of the fact that the coach had a ton to do with it. And in 2019, I mentioned that if Daniel Jones ever gets a real O-line and a real coach, he'll be a good quarterback. And like I said, all the losing, I got blinded by it. I just get sick of hearing it. I mean, everybody's piling on, and I don't get it. He threw 15 touchdowns. It's like it's the end of the world. And like I said, they act like Jalen Hurts threw 52 touchdowns. He threw 22 damn touchdowns. He's the 3rd best player in the league for throwing 22 touchdowns. Help me understand that. Oh, he had 13 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, like 9 of them were 1-yard runs. Daniel Jones had 708 yards rushing. He averaged like 6 yards a carry. Had 7 touchdowns. That don't count. Just 15 passing touchdowns. I just don't. I have a hard time understanding. I don't get it. Daniel Jones's interceptions have declined every year. Now, he'll be hard-pressed not to throw more than 5 this year. That was a pretty low total. His, fumbles have gone down every year. His completion percentage has gone up every year. He has improved. He still don't have a good wide receiver core. And that's what I don't understand. Jalen Hurts, the Eagle fans like, oh, you're just jealous. And how could you? Some guy said this guy shouldn't be on YouTube thinking they're equal. Jalen Hurts don't put up the numbers he puts up if he's on the Giants. He don't. He don't. Jalen Hurts ain't putting up those numbers throwing to Richie James, David Sills, Darius Slayton, Daniel Bellinger. It's not happening. Daniel Jones did more with less than any quarterback in the league last year. I'd be hard pressed. I want one of these Daniel Jones haters to tell me, name one wide receiving core in the league last year that was worse than what Daniel Jones was throwing to. One. Atlanta, maybe? Like, I can't think of one off the top of my head. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Jalen Hurts. So my point is, Jalen Hurts has a very good situation around him. And all of a sudden, there's all like this outpouring of emotion and love towards this guy. And I didn't see anything spectacular. You know, in 3 of the games, he had 10 touchdowns and no interceptions, meaning the other 11 games that he played, okay, he had 11 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, 12 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. It's not great. He had 3 big games that really bolstered his stats. But, yeah, we love Jalen Hurts. You can love Jalen Hurts. That's fine. But, my God, I mean, that's a pretty good team. It ain't just Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts didn't just make that team because, like I said in the video, Eagle fans hated him for 2 years. I'd go into Philly 500 streams. I'd look at what the chat was saying about Jalen Hurts. I looked at that all the time. I thought, oh, he sucks. This guy's terrible. Get him out of Philadelphia. Blah, 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 blah. And guys like, oh, we didn't say that. You're full of shit. Like I said, I've had a lot of bad takes. I have wrong takes. I don't hide from them. I don't get rid of the videos. I don't hide the videos and go, oh, I was wrong there. Let me get rid of that one. I don't want to see that one. I don't care. Man enough to admit, I was wrong about that. I was wrong about that. It is what it is. That goes along with the territory. You have 2,200 videos, you're going to be wrong. It happens. So it is what it is. But I just had it with the, like I said, it's like just a bias against him. It's like they're rooting for him to fail because, as I mentioned in the video, and again, if you haven't watched the video, watch the video. It's a good one. It's a good one. Share the video, man. Share these videos. You got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I need this stuff. It's very easy. You just click the share button, copy the link, and post it. I've always said the more people that get eyes on these, the better off YouTubers will be because it'll draw people away from shows like The Herd where they have to pay for cable. You don't have to pay for YouTube. I mean, you have to pay for your internet, but you don't have to pay to subscribe to the channel, which if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. That's free. And hit the thumbs up button. That's free too. Those don't cost you anything. But that's why I always ask to share the video because the more people that see it, the better opportunity that people will be driven away from places like ESPN and FS1 and all these other channels that just have agendas and they just want to push the agenda. The agenda is Daniel Jones sucks. Go with it. That's what we want to talk about all off season. Let's talk about Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Let's not talk about the fact that the Giants won the first playoff game for the first time, in 10 years, and Daniel Jones is a big reason that they did. Let's not give him any credit. As a matter of fact, let's knock him and say it was all Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, the most talented guy in the offense, no question. Daniel Jones, the most important guy in the offense, no question. Again, in the video, I mentioned this. 2021, Daniel Jones hurt, Saquon Barkley healthy, Giants 0-6. 0-6 with Barkley in there, Jones not. That should tell you something. The Giants were bad in 2021, but with Jones there, they were 4-7. I mean, that's not good, but it's not 0-6. So, and I'm not trying to compare Jones and Barkley. I'm glad they're back together. I'd like them to stay together because this is a team. So it's not about individuals. You want the best players on your team so that your team wins football games. Players put up stats. Teams win games. Winning is the ultimate goal. It does not matter what your individual stats are. The only thing that matters at the end of the game is that you scored more than your opponents. And that's really it. But I just wanted to get it off my chest. I don't understand the absolute hate for this guy. I don't know what Daniel Jones did to these people. Daniel Jones is one of the most soft-spoken, humble, hardworking guys ever. Why don't they credit him? Why don't they give? And the funny thing is, it was the same. Like, I'm just thinking it's a New York quarterback thing. That's. I mean, I really do. I really think it's something to do with the New York quarterbacks. Now, I wasn't around when, of course, the media was not the same either. When Y.A. Tittle was there or Fran Tarkenton, Sims never got his just due. Never. Sims got off to a rocky start. And then in 84, he threw for over 4,000 yards, and the guy won a Super Bowl MVP and led the Giants to, they were 11-3, when he got hurt. And then Hostetler came in and took him the rest of the way. But the Giants don't make the 90 Super Bowl without Sims. The Giants were a really good team with Phil Sims there. So never got his just due. Eli Manning. We all know the media loves to shit on Eli. Sims had pushed back. Sims was no pushover. Sims was a guy that would let you have it. Sims did not care at all. Sims would fight back. Eli never did. Eli never threw his teammates under the bus, never took a shot at a reporter, nothing. He just kind of went about his own business. Man won 2 Super Bowl MVPs. When he retired, he was top 10 in every major passing category. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and yet he still gets no respect because people say, oh, his record is 500. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the fact that he had no offensive line for the last half of his career and that the Giants went through a multitude of changes. And Jerry Reese drafted like absolute dog shit, and they never got a line for the guy. And the team was just bad. So that has nothing to do with it. It's all Eli, the reason they won. It's all Eli's fault that he has a 500 record, but in the Super Bowls, the defense bailed them out. Like, this is just what the media does. They just twist shit to fit their agenda. They cherry pick stats, and they just twist it around. Like I said, Daniel Jones only threw 15 touchdowns. They don't talk about the rushing yards. He just threw 15 touchdowns. He ain't no good. Blah, 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 blah. He sucks. Well, he shredded Minnesota in the playoff game. Well, Minnesota's defense is terrible. I mean, what? They really do. They really have it out for Daniel Jones. And I don't know why. Daniel Jones is I can't figure it out. But I guess it's not my job to figure it out. It's just my job to react to it. That's what I do. So I'm going to continue to do it, right? I don't like the fact that I don't understand. I don't understand why they keep crapping on the guy. Johnny, my man, thank you for super chat. He says, does DJ make the Super Bowl last year with the Eagles? I mean, he would have a better chance than with the Giants. I mean, I don't know if he makes the Super Bowl. I know that he puts up better numbers. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you, I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts would have taken the Giants to the playoffs. What I'm saying is Jalen Hurts doesn't put up the same numbers with the Giants as he did with the Eagles, and vice versa. I think that Daniel Jones' statistics would be much better if you're looking at them on paper. If he played a Philly, he would have had more passing touchdowns, and he would have had more passing yards. He's thrown A.J. Brown and not Richie James. It's a huge difference. So, again, I don't know, because I don't know how the team chemistry goes. There's intangibles there, and I'm not trying to kill Jalen Hurts here. My point is, it's just amazing to me how the media bends over backwards for Jalen Hurts, who has one of the best situations around him. And it's like they bend over backwards to shit all over Daniel Jones when he has the least amount of talent around him as any quarterback in the league. And I just don't understand. I don't get it. So Daniel Jones, I hope he shuts these guys up. But these guys that want to continue to hate on him, no matter what Daniel Jones does, it's not going to change their opinion. These guys just don't want to admit they were wrong. I think that has a lot to do with it. They can't just admit they were wrong. The Shady McCoy thing pissed me off because 6 months ago, he said the complete opposite of what he did when I went off on him too. So Again, Tiki saying Daniel Jones going to be a top 5 quarterback. I won't put him there. Not yet. He doesn't have the talent around him to be a top 5 quarterback. But when this ass clown is saying Daniel Jones doesn't sniff the top 5 of the NFC, dude, he was 7th in QBR in the entire league. How does he not sniff the top 5 of the NFC? Who's a better quarterback in the NFC? You're going to tell me Geno Smith is a better quarterback because he's throwing to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and had a great season? Can he do that again? If you want to say he's not as good as Prescott or Hurts, fine. You're telling me that he's worse than Kirk Cousins? He's worse than Jared Goff? He's worse than Derek Carr? He's worse than Kyler Murray? I don't even know who the hell the quarterback is for San Francisco. He's worse than Baker Mayfield. He's worse than Bryce Young. He's worse than Justin Fields. Bullshit. Bullshit. Guy's easily a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. And then the guy was trying to be funny. Oh, the Syracuse guy, and trying to say Cooper Rush was better than Daniel Jones. Get real, man. Cooper Rush is not better than Daniel Jones. The guy is just a tool. And again, if you watch the video, thank you. It has a lot of watch time, which I appreciate. A lot of people watch that all the way through, which you're amazing. You can listen to me yell for 18 minutes. I honestly don't know what pissed me off more in that video. Him bashing Daniel Jones at that damn shirt. That damn shirt was terrible. Terrible. And he needs to put some bass in his voice when he's talking about my Giants. He's talking about our Giants. That's the way I look at it. You know. So, I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Second Coming. I mentioned that earlier. He mentions that Dwayne Haskins is now going to win a Super Bowl. Like, how are you a major production, a television syndicate, radio, whatever the hell else the herd is on? I don't know. Like I said, I haven't listened to that twerp. I don't listen to him. But how the hell does that slip all the way through to him where he says, oh, Dwayne Haskins, how do you not know he passed away? Like, what are you doing over there? I mean, seriously, man, are you high?
Smoke weed every day.
What's going on over there, really? I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's the type of crap we deal with in the media these days, which, again, that's why I tell you guys, hey, you want to help me out, you want to help other content creators out that you like, share their videos. I don't care if you have 1 follower on Twitter or 1 million. The more people, the more times you retweet my tweets when I put my video on and that's really the easiest way. When I stick my video on Twitter, just retweet it. You know, or put it, like I said, put it on Instagram. I don't think you can put clickable links on Instagram. I really don't know. I've never been able to figure out how to do that. But Instagram, Facebook, any of it. You know, just copy the link and stick it there. Say, what? Take a look at this, Giants fans. What do you think about that? You're in Giants group chats, do it there. And like I said, not just for me, but any content creator you want, because if you want the content creators to take over, man, that's the best way to do it. Because like I said, you ain't got to pay $200, you know, on YouTube to subscribe to a guy and watch the content. That's all free. Outside of whatever your internet costs. But you don't have to pay for cable or streaming service, which ESPN streaming service is one of the worst you will find. It's really, really bad. But again, just the hatred for Dan, it's just gotten out of hand. And seeing that on Twitter, and I haven't even really been on Twitter. I'll go on more on Twitter now because football's starting. That's really when I'm on Twitter. I'm usually on Instagram more than anything. But it just I've heard too much this offseason. It's like everybody needs to take a shot at Daniel Jones. And I don't know why. I just don't understand. You know, if Daniel Jones had a year like he did in 2021 and they gave him $160 million, okay. But first year under a new system, not very good wide receivers. if Joe Shane believes in Daniel Jones, there must be something there. Wasn't Joe Shane, wasn't, same thing with Brandon Brown. Wasn't Brandon Brown the assistant GM? I could be wrong, but maybe not the assistant GM, but wasn't he in the front office when the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts? Wouldn't Brandon Brown know a talented quarterback when he saw one? Jalen Hurts didn't put up good numbers his first 2 years in the league. And what did Howie Roseman do? Well, he went out and he got A.J. Brown. And they drafted Devontae Smith. And look at what happened. So we went out. We got Darren Waller, right? They drafted Jalen Hyatt. We'll see how that works out. They got Paris Campbell. But the Giants aren't in the situation Philadelphia is either. They don't have that offensive line yet. They're building the wide receiving core. So Daniel Jones is definitely, he's on an ascension. He's not on the decline. If any quarterback in this division is on a decline, it's Dak Prescott. I don't know, man. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to yours truly. I don't understand all the absolute hatred for Daniel Jones. Anthony, my man. Appreciate you. Anthony and Johnny the Turno, both of you guys. Hey.
Thank you for being a friend.
Get that in while you can, guys. That sound bite may be retired on Saturday. Is it Trump time? Well, quite frankly, Anthony, I don't know if it's Trump time, but what I want to say right now, quite frankly, I want to talk about Daniel Jones a little bit, if you don't mind. So give me the floor for 1 second. The fake news, the fake media, they're out there. They're trying to slander Daniel Jones, frankly. You take a look at what Daniel Jones did for the Giants last. You take a look, and he got him to the playoffs. He got him into the playoffs. He won a playoff game. He beat Minnesota. Quite frankly, he did it bigly. And the Giants, they're going to do great things this year. You're making the Giants great again. Joe Shane, Brian Dable, Brandon Brown. They have plans for the Giants. Week 1 against Dallas. I hate Dallas. I hate the Cowboys. Cow turds. I hate them. Big game, quite big, the biggest. Quite frankly, we're gonna do wonderful things. So we're gonna win bigly in week 1. And Daniel Jones, he's gonna have 3 touchdowns. He's gonna shut everybody up. Haters are gonna hate. I got my share of haters. There you go, Anthony. Johnny, thank you for the super chat. He says, Baddog, people argue your take on Barber over Smith. Of course they're going to argue over that. Why wouldn't they? That's a minority take. There's not many people going to agree with me on that. That's my take. Also, he had stacked talent on his Cowboy teams. And I'm so thirsty. And Jimmy Johnson is head coach number 1, Lawrence Taylor number 2, Reggie White. I'll always say that's exactly why I say Tiki's better than Emmitt Smith. Tiki Barber averaged a half yard a carry more in his career. Emmitt Smith averaged 4.2 yards carry. Tiki Barber averaged 4.7. Tiki Barber had 5,500 receiving yards in his career. Emmitt Smith didn't come close to having 5,500 receiving yards. Tiki Barber led the league in yards from scrimmage the last 2 years of his career, had 3,500 plus yards rushing his last 2 years of his career. He started 7 seasons in the NFL and had 10,000 rushing yards. He only had 55 touchdowns. Well, that's because he had Ron Dane sucking the touchdowns up in the early 2000s, and then he had Brandon Jacobs sucking up the touchdowns the last 2 years he was there. So, of course, he's not going to have a ton of touchdowns. They took him out of it, which I always yelled at. Why are you taking their best player off the goal line? I hated that. I hated when they would take Tiki out. Like, why are we taking their best player out? Tiki Barber was the best player for a long time for the Giants. A long time. He's the best running back in the history of this franchise. Now, Saquon Barkley, at the end of his career, maybe he will have that title. The people can think that, listen, I understand that's not going to be a popular argument. I get it. I will always state my case as to why I believe Tiki was better than Emmitt Smith. But I get why people would say I'm better. I get it. I'm not going to sit here and go, well, you have no argument. Of course they do. But the fact that Tiki's not in the Hall of Fame is bullshit. So that I'm going to say, and I'm going to campaign for Tiki to get to Canton, damn it. Because Tiki belongs in Canton. I don't care what he said about the job. You know, people don't like he threw Eli under the bus and he did this and he did that. So what? What he did on the field puts him in Canton. Because the Giants, for, like I said, a lot of years, that was the guy you wanted to watch, was Tiki Barber. Jake, my man, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, exactly, Shane said on WFAN, with Tiki, the biggest difference between them and the Eagles was talent. There you go. It is. It is. That is huge. Again, I'm not trying to knock Jalen Hurts here. I've said Jalen Hurts is better than I thought he would be. I never thought Jalen Hurts would be a successful NFL quarterback. I didn't think he could do it. I really didn't. He is. And he's better than I thought he'd be. And I give him that. I never questioned his work ethic or his leadership. I knew he was always a hard-working kid. I knew he had a lot of respect. I get it. I just didn't think he had the physical tools to do it. But he's got a lot of help. Daniel Jones don't have that help. Daniel Jones don't have that help. So I don't know. And the other thing is, you know, Daniel Jones was drafted 6th overall. Hurts was a 2nd-round pick. I think if the rules were reversed, maybe the media looks at things differently. The fact that Daniel Jones was picked 6th overall probably has a lot to do with it. I know I didn't like it when they did it. Obviously. He said millions of people saw my reaction to that. And I will state this until it happens. When the Giants win a Super Bowl, when Daniel Jones wins a Super Bowl, you will see that reaction again in America's game. Still have to beep out a lot of it. But I'm sure that will resurface. But I'm glad I was wrong about it, you know. All right. Let's do this. Actually, I'm going to do the man of the hour here. This is Daniel Jones. Let me share this screen. All right, whoops. 115 likes, 300 people in here. Come on, guys and girls. We can do better than with these likes. What are we doing? What are we doing? The like button doesn't cost anything. It's simple. You move your mouse over, or if you're on your phone, you just click the thumbs up button. Just touch it. It's literally the easiest thing one can do to help out the content creator on YouTube. Is just clicking that button. All right, there's Danny. All right. There we go, 132. We're climbing. We're going in the right direction like Daniel Jones, guys. That's what we're doing. All right, Daniel Jones on the wide receiver room, variety of skills. Let's see what Danny has to say, the man of the hour. We're talking about the hood when he did the Hugo Boss thing. And I loved that hoodie, and someone said that was $200, and I said, forget about that. All right, here we go. Let's take a listen to Daniel Jones here.
Something special about playing team from your hometown?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I grew up a Panthers fan, growing up in Charlotte, watching those teams when I was a kid. So, yeah, there's something a little bit special playing the hometown team.
That's how you know he's young. When he grew up watching the Panthers, since I think they came in the league, 95, 93? I forget what year it was, but tells you he's young.
But yeah, I'm excited. You know, I think we're all getting ready for the opportunity.
Did you ever think about playing for them when you were young?
I think as a kid, yeah, you dream about playing for your favorite team. So I think that's, yeah, definitely something I dream.
That's a very strange question, right? I gotta be honest. I get like your hometown team. I get it, I guess. Do you think there's any, let's be honest, do you think there's any kid that grows up watching football and goes, God, I really would love to be the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers someday? I mean, I would understand the Cowboys, or a team with some kind of history. It's a weird question. I don't know who asked that, but that was strange.
You said on the video yesterday that you turned down the Netflix show, right? That's right? You turned it down.
Yes.
Okay. So I was just saying, like, why is it something you didn't want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I think they did a great job with the show. I thought it was interesting watching those guys and watching each of their stories, and yeah, I thought they did a really good job with the show. Just not necessarily for me.
Could you tell us?
Yeah, see, I like that because to me, that speaks to the fact that, Daniel Jones doesn't want any distractions. Daniel Jones' main focus this offseason was getting better, improving, growing a rapport with the new receivers and his new teammates, being that leader out there. He doesn't need some BS show throwing him off. Daniel Jones had a massive step forward. He still has a lot to prove. And, that's what he wants to do. So it's something that, big reason why he's respected the way he is in the locker room and amongst the coaching staff is because he's a hard worker, So I'm glad he turned that crap down.
If you're on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned about playing in the preseason or playing against your other team. Do you expect to? Dable said you're going to like to get you guys in some point. Do you have a preference, whether it be this week, next week? Does it make any difference to you at this point?
I'm always preparing to play. That's obviously Dave's call, and I think we're all preparing to play, and he'll make a decision on that. Like you said, it's he's told us we're going to play in the preseason, so to prepare and get ready to do that.
I have a feeling it's going to be this week. I mean, you guys and girls watch football long enough. They had 4 preseason games. First one, a lot of times, maybe they had a drive, if that. Second game, usually a quarter. The third game was what they called the dress rehearsal, where, you played a team and your starters usually played a half, and then they wouldn't see the field in the fourth game. And that's what's going to happen now. The second game has become the dress rehearsal, but these guys usually – they'll probably see 2 drives, maybe a quarter and a half. Maybe Dable has them, says, I want you guys to have 3 drives or 4 drives. Or maybe he says, I want you guys to, to play 5 minutes into the second quarter. But that last game of the preseason is always about depth charts and, making your final cuts. And those are guys fighting for roster spots. I can't imagine that the starters will play any part of the third game. And I'll be honest, I'll be surprised if Saquon sees 1 touch in the preseason. But we'll see. I mean, that's going to be what Dable does. But we'll see.
Dable told a story yesterday about you wanting to get into the Lions facility on the day off to get some work in with receivers and everything. I think he stopped short of saying how that worked out. Did you get to go out there, and why was that something you were so interested in doing?
This was before the game, so we didn't actually get in, be able to get over there, but we worked out on the field pregame. We're just trying to make sure we had an opportunity to get what we needed to get done.
Daniel, what have you seen from Saquon in this camp?
I think that was Kim Jones.
I think he's done a great job. He's been impressive in all the ways he usually is on the field, and with his ability, and he's been impressive just with his demeanor, his leadership, his attitude. I think he's been big in the pass game for us in space, and running routes, getting open, making explosive plays that way too. So he's had a great camp.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Saquon, and I'm glad that he's in camp because I didn't think he was going to be in camp. I figured he would sign that tag like the Friday before Dallas and not play. That was the only leverage he had. But Saquon is stuck behind his guns, and he has proved to be a high character guy. And even though he didn't like it, he still signed that tag and, was there for the entire training camp, and hopefully it pays off, and hopefully he has a big year, and then hopefully he gets a big payday. I mean, listen, I understand the NFL is a business. Saquon could have screwed the Giants. He would have ended up screwing himself more, but hopefully it works out for him and the Giants in the end. And that's what we want. That's what we all want as Giants fans, is for it to work out for both parties.
You make a concerted effort to work on like off-platform throws, like different arm angles this offseason?
I think that's part of my training. Part of my training and stuff I focus on every off season. I think, maybe a couple more opportunities to do it, and a couple newer drills I've tried to incorporate. But I'd say that's probably part of my training every off season.
You spent last season with John Feliciano, and now you've got John Michael and Ben both snapping. Is a snap, or do you have to adjust to them, or they have to adjust to you, or what?
I think there's a little bit of adjustment initially, early on, and then kind of once you're into it and you build a chemistry and a rapport with someone, you're used to it, and it's not really something you think about. So I think we're at the point now in camp where we've built that. We've had plenty of reps together, and I feel very comfortable with both those guys.
I love the way JMS played, and I'm excited to see John Michael Schmidt play again this week. I felt like the rookies outside Hyde didn't really have a chance, but I felt like all of our rookies did a good job. Eric Gray fielded all the kickoffs and punts very well, except for the one that bounced in front of him. He's got to do a better job than that. You saw him truck a defender. Daboll's pretty much said Eric Gray's probably going to be a kickoff guy, a kickoff returner most likely. I don't know how many snaps he'll get in the regular season. I would like to see Eric Gray run more. He didn't have much of a chance because if you watch a game, that Wyatt and Cunningham were beyond atrocious out there. Hawkins was great. I thought Banks played well. There were some good performances by the rookies. So I'm definitely anxious to see. Hopefully Daniel Jones plays and we can see maybe Jalen Hyatt get behind the defender. We can see that big speed that we're all looking for. But I'm definitely excited to see JMS.
What was his, he talked about I think it was last week, improving his communication and focused on being loud in one practice. How did you see that kind of from the sidelines in the game?
I think he did a good job. Yeah, I think he did a good job. And, that's a big responsibility of a center to, make a lot of those calls and get everybody on the same page and communicate. As a young guy learning the system and then having to communicate all that, it can be tough sometimes, but I think he's done a really good job with it.
You mentioned.
It's funny too, the PFF, and I was looking at the PFF grades, and I was going to do a video on it, but I decided not to. I looked at the PFF grades, and they rated John Michael Schmidt at a 53.5, which was like 7th worst on the offense. And I don't understand PFF's grades because every other thing that I looked at, all the analysts and reporters, the things that I read, the blogs or whatever, all said that he played really well. And I saw a lot of people say Micah McFadden didn't do anything to impress, and Micah McFadden had like a 90 PFF rating. So again, I don't understand PFF. I always say take it with a grain of salt. I don't know how they get their rankings. I just go by what I see. I can't go by what PFF sees or other fans see. Everything that I tell you is just the way I view things, and that's really all I can do. I can't speak for anyone else. So,
rapport. You've had now an extended stretch to work with Darren. He's obviously going to be a big part of the offense. So, how strong is your rapport with him now? Where are you guys at?
Good. It's been it's been good working with him. Feel like we're in a good spot, and I think there's still some things we need to iron out and work on, and we'll continue to do that. But yeah, he's done a really good job. He's a big target, so that's always a little bit easier when you got a guy like that who can create as much separation as he can and run like he can.
Definitely a huge addition to the Giants' offense is Darren Waller because tight end is a quarterback safety blanket. Those receivers, if they're blanketed out there, they can't get open. We know that the Giants for years now, outside of Odell Beckham, have had very difficult times separating from the defender. We see that there's very little separation. We're hoping Jalen Hyatt can find that separation with the speed. Same thing with Paris Campbell. But when that happens, a lot of times the quarterback looks to the tight end, especially a guy like Waller, who's a big dude. He's athletic, he can catch the ball. And, a lot of times those play action passes, a lot of times they go to the tight ends. You look at the teams that were in the Super Bowl, the Eagles, and of course the Chiefs got the best tight end in football. But a lot of the good teams have really good tight ends. And the Giants haven't had a really good tight end probably since, the last guy that's probably a threat was Martellus Bennett. They've had serviceable tight ends, but nothing like a Darren Waller. So that's a guy I'm really anxious to see play is Darren Waller.
How important is it to you to have different types of receivers that kind of help complement Aaron's skill set?
Yeah, I think that's important. I think we got a variety of guys who do different things, and I think Dave's and Calf and our whole offensive staff do a really good job kind of building what we're doing to our guys' skill set and what they're good at. We did that last year, and we've done that this year as well so far. So, I think that's important.
I'm just looking at how young Daniel Jones is, and I just feel so damn old. He's like 27, 26, whatever he is. He's young. Just looking at him, he's a kid, I'm almost 50 for crying out loud. It's ridiculous.
What did you say to DeVito after the game, and how do you think he did?
I thought he did well. I think anytime your first game out there and in live action and operating, trying to get everyone on the same page and executing on offense can be tough. But I thought he did a really good job kind of handling it all. He was composed and made a lot of good decisions, a lot of good plays. So he's been practicing well, playing really well in practice too. So I thought it was impressive.
I like Tommy DeVito, and I know Tyrod Taylor didn't do much. He really didn't have much of a chance. I thought Tyrod Taylor was very skittish at the beginning. Like I felt like he was like timid, or he wasn't throwing the ball. I don't know why. But Tyrod Taylor obviously didn't get a real chance. I think Tyrod Taylor will be the backup. I don't think you paid him $17 million over 2 years for him to be the third string guy. So I think DeVito, if they carry three quarterbacks, he'll be the third string guy. But if not, I feel like he's just holding the clipboard for most of the year. But we'll see more of Tommy DeVito. Tommy D. We love the paisanos over here. We love the Italians. Quite frankly, we love the Italians. We go to an Italian steakhouse here. We get the veal parm. You got to have a nice veal parm with sauce. We don't call it gravy. We call it sauce. You get the bruschetta. It's fantastic. It's like a toasted bread, a little garlic butter and tomatoes. It's a fantastic dish. You get a chocolate martini. I know chocolate martinis is one of Baddog's favorites. They're delicious. And then, of course, when you get a dessert, you got to get a cannoli because, quite frankly, there's nothing better on the face of the planet than a cannoli. It's almost as good as coitus. Cannolis at abomb.com, baby. Oh, what happened?
You said it all to see how the slot thing shakes out. You got three veteran guys there, and Chef Crowder and Beasley, who all have had success in this. You're interested at all to see how that ends up?
Yeah, I think all those guys have done a really good job, and made plays and shown up in a lot of spots. They're all, extremely talented players or smart players, instinctive guys, guys you like having in that kind of spot to uncover the field zone and kind of see the defense as the quarterback sees it. So they've done a great job, and we've got a lot of good players in that group.
It's going to be very interesting to see who gets those receiver spots between Shepard, Crowder, and Beasley. Now, both Crowder and Beasley had good third down conversions in their limited time in the game. I don't think Shep played. So We'll see what Shepard does. Obviously, coming off the ACL injury, and I've always loved Sterling Shepard, being a Sooner fan. Unfortunately for Shep, he's been hurt a lot in his career, and he might not make the team. The last couple spots there for the Giants on that receiving core, it's going to be very interesting to see who gets these spots. Thomas, my man, hey, for a super chat, brother. Give me a hell yeah. Appreciate that, brother. He says no one is picking the Giants for anything. Of course. Now, one person picked them to do anything good. Have say no playoffs. I think we're all homers and drank Kool-Aid. I don't think we're all homers. I mean, why are we all homers? Because the media says we're not good, or other fan bases say we're not good. I mean, listen, everybody said we weren't good last year. I said we weren't going to be good last year. I mean, I said 7-10 improvement, but I didn't think we'd make the playoffs. Nobody picked them to do anything last year. They made the playoffs, so who cares what they say, right? The Giants have to go out there and do what they do. That's it. They got to win games. They got to play better than the opposition. Take care of the basketball. Take care of the Duke, right? So that's pretty much it. The first 6 games are going to tell us a lot about the Giants. It's a tough schedule. 4 out of 6 games on the road. 4 out of 6 games are prime time. San Francisco, Dallas, Buffalo, Miami, Seattle. We should beat Arizona. 5 of those teams were playoff caliber teams. Again, I don't remember if Miami made the postseason or not. I can't remember. If they didn't, they were close, and they probably would have if Tua stayed healthy. But definitely 4 of those teams are in the playoffs, and 1 was close to going to the Super Bowl. They weren't down to a quarterback that literally couldn't throw the ball. So the missing the Giants may take a step back. I don't think they will. I think they're, like I said, I think they'll play better. I think the Giants will be a better team, but I think their record will be about the same. I do. 9-8, 10-7. It's kind of where I have them. I could see them going 8-9. I could see them right in there. 8-10 wins. It's kind of that's where they were last year. It's kind of where I'm this year. But I think I think they'll play better. But we still have holes to fill. That line is certainly not complete. Our guards are not good. And JMS had a good first game, but he's a rookie. Evan Neal has to improve. The wide receiver core, on paper, it's better. Still a ton of questions. A lot of new faces here. Paris Campbell's going to start. He wasn't a Giant last year. He don't know Daboll's system. Jalen Hyatt's a rookie. He's going to have ups and downs. He don't know Daboll's system. You got Beasley and Crowder. They're new to the team. Slayton is the lone guy. That's, Hodgins obviously coming back. Darren Waller's new to the team. So on paper, it's better. They have to go out there and execute. I think they will. I think a second year under system for Daniel Jones, I think that helps him a lot. I really do. I think he's confident. And I think the Giants will do many different things this year. They had a plan when they went out and drafted this year. They knew what they wanted. And the fact that Hawkins has really balled out in preseason and in camp, and they've been able to move Adoree Jackson to the slot. If you have 2 rookies that have the ability to play the 1 and 2 corners, and you can move a veteran like Adoree Jackson to the slot, your secondary got a lot better. And Pinnock, if he plays the way he has, in camp and then in that game, and he can, be opposite Xavier McKinney, then his secondary actually really looks like something. And Wink is going to have a field day with that, especially if Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari can be healthy. Both of those guys can really give a good pass rush. They beefed up their interior defensive line with Nacho and Ashawn. Riley had a really good game. The rookie Riley had a really nice game too against Detroit. Again, I'm not going to tell you that the Giants are going to go 13-4 and they're going to go to the Super Bowl or they're going to go to the NFC Championship game. Like I said, I think they play better than they did last year, but I think their record ends up about the same. I do think they get into the postseason as a wild card, and we'll take our chances. And that's all we can do. That's considering everybody stays healthy. Like the key cogs of this team stay healthy. But obviously health plays a big role in what all these teams do. But I don't think we're homers. I think we're fans. And I think that the New York Giant fan base deserved a good season. We dealt with a lot of shit for the last 5 years. I mean, terrible. That was terrible football. It was hard to watch. Very hard to watch. The last, from 2017 to 2021. And we deserved an exciting year. Yeah, they won a lot of close games, but that's what happens. You win a couple close games, it breeds confidence. It's what it does. All of a sudden you start saying, hey, we've been here before. We can win this game, and they did. Whereas when you lose those games, you go into the next game going, geez, how are we going to blow this one? Culture changes when you win. That's why game one is gigantic. It really is. It really is. But that's all I'm going to have in this video or the stream, guys and girls. I appreciate it. Just a quick one tonight. I'm going to get some sleep. Like I said, very busy the next 2 days. Chris and I'll be with Patty training on Lockdown Giants tomorrow. Hopefully you guys and girls will tune in for that. Always love working with those two. Talking Giants Thursday night on Chris's channel. Friday night, the game on this channel. And then, of course, Saturday, 24 hours in a row, 9 a.m. to 9 a.m., Saturday to Sunday, with half of all proceeds going to Stand Up to Cancer. Hopefully I see you guys and girls there. Like I said, we got a good guest list if these guys come through, and it looks like they're going to. So definitely looking forward to that. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow on Lockdown Giants. Bad Diggy Dizzle. I'm out.